Welcome back. Mad Otter again. It's Monday. Yeah, we're back to it. But we're moving on a little bit. I'm just letting the versatile framework do its thing and the automated wiring. We'll have to collect that every so often and stick it into the thing so production keeps going. It's heading in the right direction. A little bit slow, but it's getting there. But we will crack on today doing some more water and power because we are getting a little bit low, to say the least. So I've just literally started a few minutes ago, roughly mapping out. I think this area here, because one, it's a beautiful little valley, but I think it's not even a valley, is it? It's just a gorge, basically. But I think we can get water extractors down here, but I'm not sure. I've got some missing rotors at the moment, so I need to let's have a little look, see, make sure we can do this before I get too deep into this. What do we need? Rotors, wasn't it? Where we've got just over yonder the 16 coal power plant, there's 2 pure coal nodes there still to be used. So I'm thinking, okay, that's a really good sort of area around here then to basically whack in some more power. But we didn't have water up there anymore available, basically, because the water that is just on the other side of the versatile framework building is maxed out. So we need to try and see if we can find it. And we can fit water in here, extractors. So my idea is that I want to get about 8 of them if I can, squeezed in there, and I'm going to work out some weird conglomerate organic building here to accept the 8. I've just been playing around with bits in here basically to try and see if we can get something to work. Just stick the torch on so we can see a little bit clearer. So I was trying to work out, I was trying to get where we're going to get the 8 pipes in, because they're going to sort of organically move around and down basically to the water area to pick up that. We're going to need to pump it up from below there, and then they're going to need to be pumped up as we go up. So I was just trying to work out the rough sort of scale of where we're going with things. And I believe we can do this in a sort of a bizarre way. Eventually, I don't quite like the tightness of that curve. We may bring it out of faction later on. We might just bring out the foundation here and do something a little bit more sort of like that initially and then up. But I don't know whether it will work, you see, so that's why I've got to just play with it, see where we go. At the moment that seems to be working and the other one doesn't, so we will keep rolling with it then. Where are we? Oh, that can't be right. Oh, yep, that is right. I was thinking, man, that can't be right. No, it is. And there you go. this is actually not going to work, is it? Yeah, I think this actually has to be done differently. I've made a mess up there. That can go like that. What I've realised is in my stupidity, I have cut off the pipes here by pulling them from here and not the internal, because then they've got nowhere to go out here. So I've got to do it internally. And that means these ones linking pipes go, which means we've only got two now attached to each thing. Where are we? I need to come around so I can see what I'm doing. Sort of like that. It works. Wondering whether I should do these chrome rather than the carbon, whatever it is, because it just looks a bit too black. Let's just go around and make sure everything's, yeah. There we go. Again, severely missing having a hover pack or similar to build still. It is one of the big frustrations, which I keep saying. I know. I know. I know. What I've got to think about here is how I want this to develop as a build. Again, I don't really have a clear picture in mind with this. It's more just feeling my sort of way as I go. You can change the colour afterwards, not too crucial. Question is, if I do this, and I mean it's quite sort of organic in itself, and I quite like it. I just, again, I wish they had quarter sections that were the size of this top part, so you carry on doing a build sort of on that scale. But what I'm thinking of here, there is technically a piece that fits in there, I believe. That piece, I think, goes like that. And that could look quite good, because it's really nice and curvy. But it's where I go from here, basically upwards, is going to be the question. This is the water tower at the end of the day, and I want to get it up to roughly this sort of height, because then I don't want any more pumps with it going. So it's going to have pumps up here, pumps in here to get it up. But beyond that, I don't want pumps. I want it to free flow as much as possible with a header system. So, and I believe we can get a pump in here. Yeah, we can. We can still get a pump on these, which is good. I've just got to think about this design, and I kind of know what I'd like to do, but it's so impractical, it's just unreal. And this is where I could have done with the big blueprint, not the small one. We'll give it a go just in terms of setting out for one, and then if that works, we'll have to try and see if we can turn it into a blueprint. Yeah, okay, let's try it that way and see what happens. As with always these things, it's complete experiment. Some of it will work, some of it may not. We will have to wait and see. Oh, I did not do that very well at all. Total noob. Put down your blimmin' thing, thank you very much. I actually haven't been playing for 2 hours. I did switch it on, but I didn't play. It's a lie! I think this could work. I wonder if a small blueprint's going to be enough then for the 20. Just trying to get us an idea of this curve here and the size. I think it might be actually. We might have to do that. Let's see if we can fit one in here. Down over there we can, sort of. There's trees all amongst it. I wonder if I can fit it here and bring it up. Yeah, let's do that. Okay. That's going to be the easier way, isn't it? So let's do this. Let's do this. So we're going to come up default, and I'm just going to come up. Because how far can we go on this? 30. Okay, so yeah, we were okay. So let's try 5. And we can get rid of that little fella. And then we can come across 20. How much room have we actually got here? We can probably come a little bit further. Maybe I should try 25. And then we can give us a little bit of more zhuzhum. That's the other thing I've got to be careful of here with this is this manta, because it's coming through here, and which it just seems to be wherever I want to build they come through. So I think that's going to be a problem. I think there will be a collision with the manta at some point. I just wish they'd build in an anti-collide thing with it, which maybe they do have, I don't know. But maybe if you build somewhere the manta doesn't pass through the building, it might just change its course intelligently, which is what should happen. So whether they've programmed it in to do that. Come on. We're just going to build this up. We'll try. We're just going to try and build some arms up around this thing to start getting it more organic and see what happens. As I say, I don't have a set design. I'm just sort of flying by the seat of my pants and see what happens. Which is kind of the way I like to work. Big thank you as well out to the other new subscribers that have just joined this week. Really appreciate that. We are very, very small at the moment, but we are slowly growing, which is cool. I appreciate it. Okay. Well, repeat and rinse, repeat and rinse. The good thing is with blueprints, at least once it's done, and you know, you don't have to do it 300 times over then. Like in the old days, before blueprints existed. When I was a lad. I hope everybody's had a good weekend as well. I am still completely and utterly confused by YouTube. I had a quick look this morning when I got up, and one of my videos has gone, oops, bugger, it's gone like over 500 views, and the others sit at around the 20 odd mark. Never understand it. I'm such an old git, I just don't get YouTube, I don't get this technology stuff. So I have no idea what's going on. Okay, he's flying up there quite high, but then starts to come down. I think we might be all right, actually. I think we might miss him, which is good. That is good, Mr. Manta. We do not want collisions if we can help it. Oh, what am I doing? Such an idiot. There we are, deleting the wrong thing. That's why I don't get rid of those black things. I've learnt my lessons hard in the past. Leave them on there till last. Sometimes they can add an interesting little added feature as well, actually, to the things. So sometimes I do keep them. We're nearly there. Start of it. I've got to work out, as I say, the actual design, because I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm just trying to I'm going to plonk some of these around, have a look at it, get a feel for it, see where we go from there, and then keep adding to the blueprint as I need to, or taking away or whatever. Okay, we have got to its limit there. That's okay. I didn't want a total, what's it anyway, 90 degree. So let's just save this for a minute and put in here, let's just put in arch for the sake of argument for the moment. And let's get rid of this fella and these bits here. Excuse me. And let's plonk that on there. So we could sit it on, or we could bring it through like that and then carry on those down. That might add an interesting sort of design to it. Something like that. Let's just plonk that in for a second. Oh, Obviously they can all be coloured up and stuff. We can tone them all later on and work out the actual colour scheme we want to go on for it. But just for the moment, just in terms of some idea of the thing, I think that could be quite all right. Let's just bring that out to there. No, up. We did a half. No, sure. Maybe we should do that. Let's have a little look, see what it's going to go like. Get these ridges in, coming in down it basically. Okay. It almost needs actually one behind as well, doesn't it, just to fill that gap up. Like that. I'll just get rid of some of these grasses here. What I'm half wondering is whether in fact I should do the opposite and bring this down as a curve. Ooh, decisions. Okay, well let's won't be need to be quite as big as this one because of it being more nearer the ground. Yeah, it won't. So, or do we keep it straight for a little bit and then bring it down? Maybe have 3 straight like that and then curve it. That might be quite cool. We can play around with that. Let's do it. Let's have a little play. So let's where are we? Clear Blueprint Designer. This time we'll go up into default mode. And we'll go up 20, our little marker. And then we're coming out 25, I think we said the last time, didn't we? Small concrete, that's the one. We'll see where this ends up. I should really stick these things into my quick bar, but I'm actually really slack. Even though I've played like over 6,000 hours of Satisfactory, I am really bad at doing stuff like quick bars and stuff. I don't know why. I think it's just, it might be an age thing. It might be just me. I don't know. It's like when I was working in the precast concrete, placed in the Revit work, the 3D CAD work, for the 5 years. It was very hard for me to learn the shortcut keys on the keyboards and stuff, and I used to like to do everything around the sort of the long way, as it were. And these kids would come in and say, "Oh, you can just press this and it will do it for you if you assign the keys." And I was like, "Yeah." Yep. But nah. Just old and grumpy. And I played EVE Online for 14 years, I think it was. I played EVE Online. Had a corporation there and whatnot, and it was called Grumpy Old Gits and Floppies Slippers or something it was called. It was quite a did it as a joke basically initially. There was only 5 of us initially in the court. We ended up with 150 players in it from 30 different nationalities around the world. That was good fun at that point. But and then someone else stole the name Grumpy Gits and put it onto corporation after me when I left. There you go. I think this isn't going to be far off actually, because it doesn't need to be too big. Let's put this in as lower arch. Oh, I hate it when it does that. It's really annoying. There's a little glitch there sometimes when you press it. The N key when you go, or a key when you press it when you're in this thing, and it takes you out to the thing. It's very frustrating. So I'm going to put arch lower. Let's see how that goes. So I'm going to bring that around there. If I tap it to blueprint, I wonder whether I can get it to align properly that way. Let's have a look. Yes, okay, it does. And bring that down. That looks about right. I reckon we could try it actually. Let's try it up so it butts onto the other one. Let's bring it in there, like that. I think that might look better, because it creates its own little flat spot anyway, just on that. I don't mind that actually. That's actually quite interesting there. I wonder if it's funny how things happen sometimes and you're like, actually this could work in my favor. I quite like that as a design. Particularly if it's coloured up. So let's see what we can do. See whether we can come up with something with this that actually looks cool. No. There. I'll tell you what's screaming at me. And it might not work, but we'll try it. We will try it. I don't think that's going to attach properly on there. Oh, pardon me. It's getting there. These don't colour up, unfortunately. So I'm wondering whether we can get one that does. Let's have a little look. On these foundation pieces. I know the concrete one will. I just don't know whether these other ones actually do or not. So let's change the material type over to that. A second. Colors, Caterium. That one does. That could prove interesting. It's quite a sort of luxurious look, isn't it? And what I'm thinking here is we can go stick these in. If it's actually going to work for me here. I have to nudge it because it's not playing ball. There we go. Now, question is, what does that look like if it's in the metal? Does it look better? Yes. What's crazy is the thing that gave me this idea was just talking about Eve. Because the Amar race have this sort of gold and white, often well, they have a lot of the gold sort of stuff on their ships, and it reminded me then of something else I'd seen. And I was thinking, yeah, actually that could work. That could look quite cool if we can get the overall design right. So we'll just give it a go and see what happens if I can get these damn things to sit properly. There we go. And I'm not disliking this because it just creates this like two gold bands going up, which is really interesting. In fact, there may be ways of put a no, we want default, and we don't want it like that for sure. Let's go there. Let's make that criteria look. Yeah, I kind of like this. And that little fine white line going up there. Lovely bit of detail. It's it's subtle, but it's small, but it's just interesting. It's the same as around this edge. You get the little bit of that white glow bouncing off reflection, which is great. Well, this could definitely turn this into something else just by this whole design of going with the white and gold. And what we could do is this building over here, which I haven't yet finished by any means. We could do something based off this. That would be super cool then, because it would kind of tie in to this area, if you know what I mean. Now we're starting to get somewhere in terms of the design. Styling of it. And is that one, we need to change that one as well over to the other metal like that. Then we should be able to paint those with the fool's gold or Caterium. Mm. Now what I'm thinking is, okay, clear. No. Well, yes, we're going to need to clear. Damn for not having large blueprint machine at this point. That's all I can say because of what I'm about to do. Um, I'm going to put I think, a circle on there, which could have, should have been done in a big blueprint. So what is the actual height? 32, I think it is, isn't it? Yeah. So let's work this out. 32, half of 32 is your 16. So if we stick in that at the 16 point, and then we'll need to come down. We've got to allow 4 at least for the thing, so we want to come back to 12. I think we may need an extra meter because of where it touches on the angle. But we'll try it. We'll see whether we can get away with it. This is why I don't like the small blueprint machine, other than doing very small projects, because you just get this little bit of clipping that sometimes happens on the edge and it stops you building it. Like this, where that occurs, and if it goes like that on the top or the edge, it will probably stop us. And that's where I get frustrated, because I'm like, eh. So we've just got to try and see if we can get this to work. Ooh, it doesn't like that, does it? It should not be going to there. That's for sure. I'm sure there's a fault with that at the moment, actually. Definitely going way beyond where it should be. Look, yeah. I mean, this still snaps to the 12 meters, fortunate enough, which is why you have to use them. Because otherwise it cocks up, basically. This is frustrating. See, now it's not saying correctly. There's something gone wrong here already with that alignment. We'll just take it back and re-sort ourselves here. It may be that we have to go from this top view. No, it's still wanting to do it. Such a bizarre, crazy thing. Let me just take one out and see what happens then, whether it's clashing off that for some reason. No, it's not. It is literally a problem with the snapping point on the game. crazy. And why are you now not wanting to snap to the bottom? Seriously? What is wrong with this thing? Ah! Ay, 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 ay. Look how cocked up this is. This is your snapping points in this game at the moment. They're like AWOL. Why? I mean, look at that. It's not even snapping to the corner like it normally does. It's going way beyond. And yet this still snaps to the 12-meter mark. It's ludicrous. Anyway, we've managed to overcome that bit. But I do not know what they're doing at the moment. I don't know what's gone on here. They've cocked up somewhere badly on that because it's just getting worse and worse. Look. I'm not going to be able to accurately make what I want. That's going to go off. It's just ridiculous. Let's go back this way for a minute. I really should take a snapshot of it and send it off to them and say, oi, what's going on? So there's your first fault, you see, and it just continues to get worse. Shouldn't be snapping to there, it should be snapping directly to that corner. You can see the number 12.369, where it shouldn't be snapping to that, it should be about 12.1 or 12.2. So it's got a problem somewhere. That's the snap point there, where it's attached, you see. No, it doesn't want to go to the underneath, so I've got to do that. It's really weird. It's definitely playing up. I've had a couple of occasions where it's done this. Not all the time. Didn't do it once on these big arches, but these ones it's definitely playing around, so I'm not quite sure why. I shouldn't have to go from this corner back to the centre. It should always be the other way to get the alignment right, so I don't even know whether this circle's going to work. Rare. Never mind. Is what is. See, even that's wrong. It's not snapping halfway. It's just the whole thing for some reason's out at the moment, and I do not know why. What is wrong with you, Mr. Satisfactory? Yeah, I don't think this is going to work. All this is wrong. It should be going like this, with a tiny little overlap on both parts. It should not be doing this. So it's all completely wrong. I'm going to have to delete. That's very, very frustrating. Ay, 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 ay. Well, maybe that part of the design will have to wait. I might need to re-log or something and try again. So what we'll do, we'll put the other arches in and see how they look, and go from there, I think, for the moment. Not sure how low down I came on that, which is a pain because I should have checked that before. Ah, top of the thing, right, okay. That's there. So as long as I've got that on the halfway point, which I have, that's correct. It's good. Then we'll stick that one on underneath, like that. And what we need to do is grab a single one of these. That one is literally halfway through that point there, isn't it? So if we do that and then come up one notch, that should do it. Yep. And then this we want the Caterium. This we need to bring out. This we need to change material to that. And then they're paintable. Always the way. These are the white. And these are white. That's gold. I'll have to work out exactly where we want the gold to go and where we don't want it to go to see the design eventually, because it may get too much, if you know what I mean. So we've just got to work that out and play around with it a little bit. And materials. And then we want one of these at the bottom. Oh dear. That animal is going to end up being killed because they're just going to get in the way all the time, aren't they? And their little root default players in the way. Okay. I'll try and get these then up. So, oh, ay, 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 ay. Come on. There we go. Up. Another one, another two, and in. There we go, that's it. Then we can do the, get out of it. Seriously, mate? Right, okay, you are going to have to go. I'll give you a sting first, and if you come back, you're going to get it. You're going to get it. I'm actually wondering with this, whether we need to actually just alter slightly how that's going to work. Let's do defaults, alright. Go up. Whether we take that in more like that. And I think that will look perhaps a little bit better. Shows a little bit more white and just creates a bit more interest there. So I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to take it up to about 12, 13 roughly. And then we'll take it in half a notch. I think that looks quite cool. Oh, you're back again, are you? Okay. Thank you. You are no longer back. Sure, you're a nice guy, but yeah, this is where I begin to wonder whether it's going to get too much. Or whether that just needs to be white. And we could do that concrete. So it matches the other like that. We'll keep playing and see, test and see, test and see. These snapping points, man, are just literally nuts at the moment. You cannot take it. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, well, you should have played in normal mode, not experimental mode. I know, I know. Okay, now the back of this where it's glitching out like this with the Z fighting, we will sort something out here. So that is completely covered. But at the moment, I just want to try and get the overall look of this thing going. So we need to replace with these things. Power's in the way. No, they're not. Need to change those material types to this one. Okay. Oh, for hover packs, where are you? Infinite amount of um, ladders get built. Okay, so we can stick it on now. If I can actually sit on the top here. We can do one of these. Yeah, like that. The opulent sort of sci-fi look. And, oh no. Oh no. There we go. Right. Now the only one that's going to prove a real problem, I think, in terms of the archers here on this side. So let's do this because we can see what's going to happen here, because we may have to adapt slightly what we're doing. So let's get up and put the top one on first, and then we can go from there. Got to find out where that's going. And it's roughly to there. Should be to the top of that one. Yes. Okay, let's put the bottom one in. Arch lower. To there. We've still got the pivot points on them. I love it. Take those out. It's close. Oh, it's close. Okay, well, before I take the pivot point out on this one, we'll just adapt it slightly. And see if we can get this to just work on its own a little bit here. I just hope it doesn't. I'm gonna. Well, we'll have to wait and see. I'm hoping it will go into the ground sort of thing before we get to the edge. If not, we will have to change the design fractionally on this one, but that's all right. I think we're going to be okay, actually. There we go. Perfecto. Yeah, that can all be made white, 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 white. Okay. Ooh. There we go. We get this. Do our little party trick thing in here. Turn it on to default. Do that. Take it in half a notch. Not that way. Ah, interesting. Why is that different? Let me take that out for a second. Oh, if I'm not careful, I'm going to end down the bottom of the cliff. No, doesn't want to do the half. Absolutely mind-blowing. So let's put these in for a start. See if that makes a difference, if we can get a different snap point. It might be that it's just a different snap point. Let's have a little look. Yep. No. There you go. Okay. Well, that one worked anyway. We had to add a little bit extra on, but it's no biggie. And that's worked quite nicely. Try and go around and see if we can get the other one on now. Land. There you go. And this one again is going to need a little bit of extra care, attention to it. This one here is going to be awkward because the ground is sloping away, so it's not going to actually, I think, reach the ground. So we may put in a few others, extras, but we may have to think up something else here. I think it's going to curve quicker than the ground. It's going to be close, but man alive, are we actually going to get away with this? It's going to be flipping close. And we have. I can't believe it. That is unbelievable. We did just catch it. Wow. Well, well, well. Okay. Fluky, to say the least. That was not planned. Okay, well, we have a start. We have a basic format. And I think I roughly know where I'm going to go with this, but yeah, we've got to get that circle sorted for sure. With the snapping points, for some reason, it is not working today, so that is a pain, to say the least. This here is not working on a diagonal either. It's snapping only to 40 to 90 degrees, which is another one of my big issues with blueprints. Is they should have them so that they rotate on increments of 5 degrees, like they do everything else. So if we want to do that, what we've got to do is put that blueprint in on an angle. So let's just try it a second, excuse me. I've been fighting this cold thing for the last week, and I have to say I am fighting it, but man, it's yeah, I can't even put it in, rotate it in here, you see. Bleh. I do love you, really. So we'll have to build it from scratch if I want to do that. Have I not got a circle somewhere already? Tank sleeve. Hex. I don't think I have, not on this. Yeah, no, I haven't got one already. I really want one. tell you what we're going to do. I'm going to give it one more go, and if that doesn't work, I am going to re-log the game and see if it will then work. I don't want 5, do I? What was I thinking? 16. We're actually going to come down. I'm actually going to do it 15. Instead of 12, we'll do it 11 to there. And that should just give us a little bit of ground clearance. Yeah. That one is correct. That's what you should be getting, is this little tiny little bit of crossover. Let's do one either side as we go and see what happens, see if we're getting that consistency. And I really do not like that moon, or whatever it is, sun or whatever, in my eyes. Let's turn the torch off a bit as well. Hopefully it doesn't get too dark for you on the stream. I think we do need that light on, unfortunately. That's still correct, okay. So far, so good. This one I think is going to start now going out because it's starting to come down too low on the concrete. And I do not know, because that changes the central point. This is what I get frustrated with, because it just shouldn't be doing this, basically. It's nonsense. To be. And you can see that's wrong straight away. There, the little blip in the black. It's not seeing right, so no, the snapping points aren't working. I do not know what's going on in Satisfactory at the moment with the snapping points. What we're going to do, we're going to save this as this is the beginning of the circle. Save blueprint. I'm going to quickly re-log and see if that makes a difference. So we're going to, what's the best way to do this? Where are we? OBS. We go back to here for a second, and then I'm going to exit this desktop, reboot the game, and see if that makes a difference. We'll try. I've only had it happen now twice, where the snapping points haven't been working at all in the blueprint machine, and they've been very random, and unfortunately it causes chaos on the sort of builds I'm doing, and I just cannot afford for that to happen. Right, let's go back, main screen again. Alright, that snapping point's gone better. That is correct, the little overlap there at the bottom. So this is now looking like it's solved itself. Yep, that's good. Okay, we're back in business. We are back in business. It's looking better. Bit slow this part, but hopefully. Now I've got two options here, which is going around in my head at the moment, is to either make a perfect circle, or to do a ellipse circle, basically. And I might just do both and check out what it looks like. But we'll do the pure circle first because that's going to be easier in terms of the setup as just a matter of going around, around. Once this circle's done, I'll probably take a quick break for a few minutes just to go and get some food and bits and bobs, and then we'll carry on. But just want to get this circle done first. halfway. Something's looking out. That one there isn't looking right. I'm wondering whether I need to take it back. That one there just isn't somehow sitting right. There we are. Somehow I hadn't snapped quite right to the block. Fortunate enough, didn't need redoing it, it just needed tweaking. Getting there. Nearly, nearly, nearly. Very close now. Very close. Should be one more, hopefully, to snap into there. This is going to be the tricky little part usually. Let's do that and see if we can get one in there. Like that. Sweet. We have a circle. I'm going to keep that in there for the moment, just in case, and it will also give us a point to work from on the next section. Now let's try doing the first part of this next part, first part of the next part of the next bit. Where are we? Circle. So we want to go onto there. And we probably actually want it to come along sort of about there in terms of looking like it's attached at the right angle, because what you want is this arch almost pointing at the center pretty much. Very hard to tell from this angle. But it does look like it needs to come down a fraction. Somewhere around there. It is a peculiar design, but that's okay. It's going to get peculiar yet. That gives us a rough guide shape, I think, for the moment. What we need to work out is I want some gold on it, for obvious reasons. So I'm thinking, well, I don't know what I'm thinking actually, but let's maybe too rough. Maybe you just need one of these coming out as a default. bias meter. I think that would look weird though. If it's plonked around like that, but then you're going to get a discrepancy probably part way. I'll have a think about that. I've got to, but I do want to get some fine little bit of gold in there somewhere if I can. I mean, the ideal would be to have like a line running around here somehow that gives me that. It may be flippin' fiddly. I may have to do something crazy like this and keep doing it all the way around. I don't know whether that's going to work how I want it to, so could be tricky. What else could we do that might work? It can be painted gold. So that's very pretty, but I need it started off there. Each time how would that look painted gold? Let's glitch out a little bit in there. At a distance it probably wouldn't be too bad, but what else could we use? I don't know if these branded cables paint. I've never actually tried. Another thing. Can we paint them? No, we can't. Okay. What else have we got? Well, we could try. What about, is that too much? So half a notch goes too far. I don't know whether that was going to sit right anyway over time, or whether we're going to get a horrible constant jagged edge. Yeah, it's going to look weird. Shame. Potential. But just not good enough. Yeah, no, it's not going to work. It's going to be too crazy. What else have we got that we could use that can be painted gold? This is the question. You've got the painted beam, of course, which we've been using to construct it, but that's going to have the same problem as the other beam. That's a point. How many meters was that? 1.3. Good grief, how do you get to that figure? 1.3 there. No, don't like the way that's going to snap. So that doesn't work. Interesting one, that one. The other way is this with this beam, but that's going to probably end up the same effect because we're still going to have that little glitch thing going on there. Well, it's not a glitch, it's just the way it is with the gap. Mind the gap. Hang on a minute. I managed to actually get that to start connecting properly. That one doesn't want to do it. It's weird, isn't it, how certain ones do it and then it suddenly doesn't want to. Man, I'm hungry. I must go and have some food in a minute. Grab some food quickly. Problem with all these things is you've got to get them, the snap points the same, and that's where the difficulty lies at the moment, is whether I can actually achieve that. And I don't think I can. That one's got a single one, that's got 2 draws. But the gap is less on the single, so let's try. Nah, when it goes big, it's just it's snapping off to the wrong. I'm going to have to think about that one, definitely. Meanwhile, these have all got to have the circles fitted. But I've also got to make sure that the level's correct. So what I'm going to do that is on default, where are we? I'm going to bring this out and I'm going to just literally swing some beams around to give us some location. Come on. Like that. And then we know that's going to be the same level roughly to aim that center for. I'll have to think about this gold thing because I really want to get that done on the blueprint before I really put up these, but I think it would be good just to see some of these in place. Where's that going? So that's the level. And that makes sense to the other one, I think, from the look of the positioning. That black thing is butting just, and it is on there. Let's do it. Okay, cool. Right. I am going to take a quick break and go and grab some food, and I will be back. I have food. So I shall just be off mic for a little bit while I'm chomping. And hello, Valius. Welcome back. You really need to practice more your actual decorative designs. We all do. They take time and they're totally usually impractical, but I enjoy doing it. Adds another challenge to the game. I'm just trying to set up the alignment points here to put them in. The big problem I've got on this one is at the moment I'm obviously putting the circles around on these four posts, but then what I want to do is get these also around in other areas, going around, creating a circle of their own almost, with gaps in between obviously. But I can't just move this blueprint to do it because it only rotates on a 90-degree bend. So I'm going to have to literally make these curves at all the angles within the blueprint machine that I want to make it work, which you know is a pain, but it is what it is, unfortunately, and I don't have a lot of choice over that. And as I say, working without hover packs and stuff is an absolute nightmare. Do not do this in flipping vanilla normal mode. It's just yeah, hellhole. So I've got to put that there to get that location height and then get back. And then we've got to try and put another circle there. I was trying to get a gold um, edge somehow on this, because what I've done on here, if you look on here, I've managed to, I've got a pillar in there which is painted gold, and then I've got the beam going up, and it just breaks it up a little bit, gives a little bit of design on it. And I was hoping to see if I could have got something on the outside of this circle as well, going around the ring that was gold. And the only way I can think of doing it is if I literally do the hard way, which I don't really want to do. Um, and the hard way is that I go back through every single pillar and add on, you know, a piece at the here basically. And that's the only way I can think of doing it. I quite like this little square of it, but I don't know whether that would work. But it's yeah, I can't get it even to shift slightly how I want it, but there we are. That's still on the wrong thing. It's not even on that. What if you angle a snap foundation for the blueprint? Yeah, um, that's a possibility because I have got a space of 1 meter. Let me actually give that's not a bad idea. Let me give that a quick go. That was something I have not tried. Stay. What were we looking at? The pillars, weren't we? Which is the, where are we? Arch. That is the problem, is unless I can rotate that 45 and then do it. See if that will. Yeah, sort of. It will, but it won't. Let me see if it goes blue. Ooh, okay. Now we're talking. Good idea, mate. Good idea. That is a nice idea. Right, now let me see if I can resave that. Arch, I'll put this at 45. I can't save it. Blueprint has no cost. It doesn't recognize it because I've inputted the other blueprint. This is one of the things they've stopped doing, allowing on the blueprint machines, because people were basically abusing the system by putting making huge circles that were vast, which you could do if you kept that center point basically within the blueprint. But unfortunately, with what they've done, they've also stopped it being used in what I call normal circumstances for basically like this. I've had this now 3 times where I've tried to put a blueprint inside a new machine and it hasn't let me do it. The only way I can do it is rebuild it from scratch. Very, very annoying. So it lets me go on there, definitely. It's not letting me there, that's letting me there. I'm just going to try the first time it goes blue. I'll save it even with the concrete for the moment. I'm going to just put in again arch 45. Save blueprint, and I bet you any money, look, the only thing it's saving is the concrete foundation. Yeah, damn, exactly. Um, because look, yep, that's all it's done. It's saved the foundation. It's a right pain. They've changed the game mechanic on it, and it's yeah, very very frustrating because it's a lot more now work intensive. I understand them. Got to jump, be back. Yep, no worries, mate. No worries. I understand if they want to stop people making huge, vast things outside of the blueprint parameters. I get that. But stopping people being able to place blueprints within at different angles and stuff within the blueprint parameters is stupid. It's yeah. Sorry guys, you need to fix that. You need to be able to allow players to put blueprints within blueprints. Yes, outside, no, but inside, yes. Because it means I've got to build this from scratch, which is a pain in the backside. Because I've got to do it on every angle that I want it now around this building. Not a happy chappy, basically. Oh dear. Right, let's put that down. Then we know where the center point is going to be. And we will take that one out. Pop that one in. We will come across and put the first one in. Yep, that's correct. Right, now we can get rid of this blueprint and carry on. Yeah. Why? Just why, guys? Why? What I've got to work out on this as well was how many I actually put in. So I think the easiest way to do that is to, if I press G, select only those. 31. Okay. What I'm trying to do is basically with these arms and these circles is eventually create a circle going around with these, but not as a solid piece. It'll be done in gaps, so there might only be like 4 other pieces in between here or something. Um, and then we're going to run, because it's going to be a water tower. We are then going to basically bring all the pipes up and They may, depending on how it looks. I haven't yet worked it out. um, but we'll either do a whole series of the storage tanks in the center here coming up, or we'll put them around the edges, and I'm not 100% sure yet. Just flying by the seat of my pants and seeing how this tool turns out. One thing at a time, eh? Just fine. Just having to deal with a business message here at the moment. I will be back any minute. Yep. All right. Sorry about that. I have a gentleman who is claiming he wants some paintings of mine for clients in Saudi Arabia, and they're worth a fair amount of money. So I'm not sure whether he's a scammer or whether he's genuine. So we're negotiating with my art dealer at the moment to find out. If he's not a scammer and he's a genuine businessman buying, I will be a very happy chappy. About a year ago, I was getting like 10 scammers a day approaching me trying to flip and buy artwork. And I've found the quickest way through that process, unfortunately, because before it was taking me hours to try and suss these people out. And the easiest way now, it's very, very simple. You just tell them that you will only accept international bank transfers, direct bank transfers. You won't work through any money apps or any other system for payments. And that way it protects them if they're genuine and protects you because it's completely traceable by both banks. And if they've got half a brain about them, they'll know that that's the case. And if they're a scammer, they'll drop you like a ton of bricks. And if they're genuine, they'll be happy. Now we said there was 31 of these in total, didn't we? Gee, let's do that. What are we up to? 20? All right, 11 more to go. It's not too bad. We're getting there. I think there's about 5 or 6 to go. I haven't been really paying too much attention, but it feels about that. Let's just do a quick G again. 27. We need 31. We've got 4 more. I wasn't too far off in my guesstimations. Two more. Right. So this should be able to be saved as. I'm going to keep that little fella for the moment. March 45. Let's save, confirm, save. 157. That's looking a bit better. That's looking like we've actually collected the blueprint properly. Yeah, it's a real shame they've changed the game mechanic on that because it means a lot more building again. Right, sorry, where are we? March 45, and that should be sitting at the 45-degree mark. Now, this is where we get more blueprint machines in the way. Damn you. For goodness sake. Let's do this. Clear blueprint. Let's do that. We'll come back to it. We'll replace it in a different place in a second. Right, where were we? 45. Now, what I've got to do is obviously placement. How are we going to do that? So, in fact, before we do that, we might need to just do something else here a second. Let me sit on here. Yes, it is. So we need to default here, and we need to come out. Oh, actually, we'll do it off at the ground level. It'd be safer. So it's 16 meters. So that's 11, roughly-ish. So let's do, can we do default now? Yeah, we should be able to. So if we do 5 more, that should be a bit of an overlap there. So let's just do a double, triple check thingy majiggy if we can on that. It looks right, 16 into there. Okay. Oh, actually we need to keep that. What we'll do is we'll go down with it. We've got a marker. Right, let's try again. Please stay. Do not fall. Do not pass 200. Do not collect. Do not collect 200. Do not pass go. So let's just. So I think we're looking at somewhere about there being the correctish position, and then we just need to bring it down to the right level. Which is there. That is the correct level. It's the top of that little slim piece that it's in there. So I believe that's correct. We will find out. Double, triple check it. That can come out, and then we need the. I don't think this one here is going to spin around either. We're going to have to remake the whole lot to get it accurate. Yep. It's such a pain, that it really is. Okay. You can start to see how that's going to form though. Might just get 3 actually. So we'll do one in the center here, and then one like here and one here. And I think that'll be enough rings going around just to make it of interest. It'll take a bit of time to set it all up, but I think it's should should always should. Yeah, it should be quite a reasonable look. I'll try and bring that up to there. Now the question is, will the circle also behave itself and go on the 45 for us or not? And I've got a feeling that it won't, which means the whole lot, everything needs to be made on the 45. And then we've got to do the same again for the next angle, which is 22.5. Which is going to be even harder because I don't even think you can do a 22.5 possibly. I can't remember now. I think it goes either side of it. That's so frustrating. It really is. Okay. Unless we do... So a little think about this for just a second. Player is in the way. What a load of nonsense. I'm going vertical. Let's think about this for a second. So there's... So I think these ones are in 10 degree... Is it 10 degree increments? 10, 20, 30, 40... No. What the increments on this one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So there's 9. Is that right? My head's starting to blur into... Don't know whether that's going to work. Just trying to find a way of getting it to the what options we have in terms of angles. To make this work in between, because it may be that the 45 doesn't work and that we actually need to do sort of 30, 30, 30 degrees and go 30, 60. That's what I'm wondering. I just cannot remember for the life of me what the angles are on these things, what they're actually because I don't think this does 90. Yeah, it jumps either side of it. If you look at the line, when you do rotate, it jumps either side, doesn't let you do the 45. So So it is 10, I think. It's 10 degrees because there's 9 of them in within a 90-degree angle to rotate it. So I think these are 10. So that would mean if we were doing a third, we'd be going 3 and then 6. Or we could do 3 back from the other way and see if that works. Like that. And that does look pretty even. So I think that's actually what we're going to have to do, is scrap the idea of the 45 and actually do the 30s. Just to add to our pain. Don't you love it? Love it, love it, love it. We'll go up to the 5 degrees. No, we'll stay where we are actually. Yep. So we'll do one at 30, one at 60. In fact, can we do both on the same blueprint? And then the blueprint will just slot in with the 2 extra ones in there. Ooh. Ooh. That could be cool. So the question is, how long is this so far? 14. So we need to go another 11. Let's bung that there, that there. That's our markers. That can all go. And then, so that was that one. So that can go. This one can go because we don't need it at all. And what we need to do is work out, in fact we don't need it even from there because what we need it is from here, isn't it? So we need to go like that. And then we want to do 30 degrees, which it's not going to let me do, is it? Because it's up on the, hang on a minute, take about one more. Now is that going to work? Or have I messed this up as usual? I think I've messed it up. I need to actually start here. Sorry guys. I've just got to get this right so that it sits right basically with the 2 things, otherwise I'm going to end up in a right stink once I've done it all and then find it doesn't sit correctly in here. So we have to aim as if it's 30 degrees off this because, yeah, because that's going to be the 45 that's currently in there, and then we need the 30 off this line and this line and this line. So in 30, that's the way it's got to work, I believe. So try again. 1, 2, 3. That's one of them. We'll go the other way. 1, 2, 3. That's the other one. The one we want to take out initially. So that's that 30 degrees, so we want to go from here. Default, no. Diagonal freeform, yes, but we want to come out this way. How's that going to work? So we need to come off, hang on a minute, 2 off the 25, so we need to come down to 23. I'm probably overcomplicating this. Nothing would surprise me. My brain is fog. Alright, there's the 2. Alright, that's going to the center of there, that's going to the center there. We can correct the height afterwards, I'm not worried about that. I just want to get the alignments correct at the moment. So that is that one. That one doesn't count, that's the 45. This is the other one. So we come out again to 23. And that should be the 2, takes us to the center. Yep. Pop that on there. And that should but it doesn't look right still. What's going on here? Why is that one at 90 degrees to this? It shouldn't be. It's meant to be 60 or 30 away from it. So I've done something wrong there. I did something wrong. Yeah, because I've done that one. 1, 2, 3. That's the 3rd there. Alright. So if I come out again, what was it? 23, wasn't it? And that's the 2. That's looking more like it. Now I think I've got it. Finally. What a numpty. Oh well. If all else fails, be a numpty. 25, yep. Let's get rid of that. Pop that on there. And we put our first small concrete on here, like that. And then this one here we do the same, bring it down 2. And it should be 25 to the center. Why am I getting 24? No, 25, good. That was right, wasn't it? I just really want to get this right, because otherwise if I get it wrong and then have to load it in and it doesn't work, it's going to be an absolute pain. Right. I think we are sorted. Finally. So what we're going to do, we are going to have to, oh yeah, we're going to save this as arch is plural 30. We know those are at 30 degrees. Right. Everything is in location to kick off, so we can crack on, and we need 31 in total. So we need 30 more on each arm. Bit repetitious, I know, sorry. I think this is why a lot of people don't do fancy builds, because it is just a game of patience and how far your tolerances go before you snap and either become insane or give up. Either way. In my case, just become a mad otter. Now what we're going to do, I'm going to just do another few on this one. Then we're going to do a test run, make sure it sits correctly and looks right before I carry on all the way up with this stuff. And then we know at least we've got it exactly what we intended. Oop. No, 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 no. Very good. Let's just save. Let's just quickly pop that in and have a little look, see if this is doing what it's meant to do. We do need to delete this fella. Please stay. Yes. It's sat there. Cool. Archer's 30. Yes. I think it's going to work. I think it's going to work. Look at that. That is, apart from the ladder being exactly in the way. And we'll need to work out where these actually go. Oh, maybe the... Oh, hang on a minute. What an idiot. What a buffoon. Did you see what I did there? Put them around the wrong way. You go that way. There you go. Now that is a problem because it's still not right. Ooh. So the 30 degrees in fact has got to go from the back edge, not the front edge. Oh my word. That's where I've done it wrong. I knew there was something nagging me that this was not right, and it isn't. This is all because they won't allow a blueprint to sit within a blueprint anymore. It's causing me no end of hassle. Um, this is mind-blowingly... I can't... I think it's probably because I'm not well at the moment and my head is just spinning. Um, but I'm trying to get my head around this and it's struggling. It's probably normally I'd wake up with a very easy solution to this. Um, in principle, okay, what we have to do is we have to be 16 from the center. So if I just pop that there for the moment, we have to be 16 meters comes out. This is the line from the back edge of the curve. So basically what you'd have is these would actually be somewhere in here. One of these, and then arching that way. And that means it all means something. But just what, I am not sure. I've got to run a measurement from the center to the outside was, I think it was 16 meters, wasn't it? From that center point to the outside of that concrete pillar was, I believe, 16. Now, yeah, it was the 16. So there's got to be a simple solution to this, it really has. So if I go out 16 meters from here, okay, and we go 14, 15, 16, that brings us to there. Okay, so if I press default, that should be a 16 marker. Take these out. And do the same here. 16 is there. Default. So that's the distance out from the center, if this was the center of the marker. Now the problem with that is this curve now begins, in effect, because that was the outside of the curve from the center. So that would mean, let's take that out for a second, pop that back in. There's the 16. Stick that on. That would be that one there. But now we have to do the curve at 25 meters from there, and that is the problem, because we don't have the blueprint space to do that. So the other way I can get around that is if I pull this back to here, do we have 25 meters from that point on that line? Default. You do. Okay. hope this is making sense to someone. So that would be there. It's on that 30-degree angle still, which was the key, because we had to keep that line, that 30 degrees. But the question is this right? And I don't think it is, because this is going to be too close, you see. This is the problem we've got. So the only way around it, I think, is to do one. We can do one at 30 degrees, and then we have to do another one, different blueprint at 60. Because I can't see how otherwise the gap between them is going to be correct. So we'll just quickly do again another half dozen of these, and then we'll test it and see what it looks like. And that's all we can do, because today my head is, well, my head's been mush actually for a couple of weeks now. One of the joys of chronic fatigue, we're starting to get that snapping issue point in the wrong place as well, which is another problem. But we'll try and get around that for the minute. These swines. Do that. Do that. Yep, that one's not correct. It doesn't. I'll have to redo them. There's been a problem with the snapping points in Satisfactory. I've found I've had it now. This is the third or fourth time now, where they do not go from the center of this to here to this edge. They'll snap inside somewhere slightly, and it throws the whole thing out just by a little bit, but it's enough to mess the whole thing up in the long run. Because what you should be getting is this pattern appearing, and as you can see, it's even more there than it is here, and that shows something's still not right. It's there's a problem. The only way I fixed it last time was by re-logging the game. See if it's going to work this time. That's looking better again. Alright. So that would be that one. This one here. So we'd be coming out, we said. That was the 16 to there, wasn't it? But we actually need to come out. That's 8 meters, I think it is, yeah, the time it goes back one. Just trying something here just to get positions for us, but I think it's going to be out. And then we need 25 from here, don't we? Get the other one. Okay. We do have that. Good. So we go here. Reform. Just going to stick in a one there, and then I can just grab it each time. Save fiddling around. See, I think these are too close. It's going to look weird. Right, let's just, for the sake of argument, for the moment, Archer's 30, save, confirm. Let's go quickly try this setup, but I don't think it's right at all. I don't think it's right at all because we actually need them further apart. And I just think we might not have the blueprint size to make this actually happen. Yeah, it's going to be well wrong. Yeah. That's so frustrating. So we can only do a 30 and then a 60 blueprint. So we're going to have to do them individually. We just can't fit them in. Ah, dear. Shame, shame, shame. Okay. We will carry on. We will cry silently and carry on. How many have we done so far? 14. About halfway. Yep. Okay. Yep. That's 20. Nearly there. 2/3 of the way there. Try again, see how many that is now. Can't be too far off now. Can't be too far off. 26, yeah. 5 more. And that's this one done. Um, three more. 2. 1. Let's just double triple check. Usual story. 31. Okay, we'll keep that there for the moment. So this is the 30 degree. We'll go with the 30 degrees for the moment. Let's bung it in, check it, and then we'll have to look at the 60 degree one, but I think we might leave that one for another time. Do that off camera. Okay, so that's the 30 degrees. All we've got to try and do is find the correct placement for it now in terms of its positioning. Excuse me. And that's where we need that 16 meter thing coming out, isn't it, to determine. So this is where it gets interesting, because what I've got to do now is replicate 1, 2, 3. That's the wrong, that's that one. And you go to twist it the other way. 1, 2, 3. That one. So what we need is then from there to come out 16 minus 2, which is obviously 14. And that's going to give us the front edge I think of this curve. And there's 30. Should sort of match. I've got to get out of the way. And I think that is roughly there, about right. We need to just bring it down to there. Man, that was hard work. Right. Well, that's the 30-degree one. And that should be able to go around all of the different sides of this shape. We should be able to fit that on going out either way. So we just need to set up this thing with the right measurement each time. And yeah, should work. Should work. Okay. So what we can do is, because that's a continuation of that, we can come out 16 meters there, plonk that down, and that will give us the right line for the next one going that way. Yep. That's out though, isn't it? So weird. That's the one. Should be anyway. It might need. Still out. That's odd. Very, very odd. Nothing seems to be aligning or snapping to the correct things anymore here. Let me take off that. See if that's going to help in any way. That looks better. That's correct. Now it just needs to go down to the correct level, which, ooh, I have a feeling that oh, what am I done? I've just ran the flipping wrong way. Such a noob. Right. Try again. I'm not sure that's correct. I don't know if there's any easier way of doing this, to be honest. It just isn't right. It's out by a quarter of a thing. That is snapping to that middle section, which means it should be correct. Should. And yet it doesn't appear to be. The question is why? Why? It just doesn't make flippin' sense. Okay, so that's on the beam. That's correct there. Then it goes off. It's not even right height-wise by the look of that, I don't think. Might be. See, that is not sitting correct at all. I don't know what's going on here. It's very, very odd. That's sitting central. Or is it? This is your 30 degrees. Why are we getting this problem? Even half nudge doesn't get it right. I am completely befuzzled. I think I'm going to end up having to leave it and come back to it because yeah, something's not right here. It's I'm going to have to work out how to set it up so with the aligning. And my brain is just not functioning today to work these little niggles out. This is your 30 degrees, right? This is it. So why will the blueprint not go on that? Oh, maybe that's because it's actually the 60 and the 30 needs to go over here. maybe. 1, 2, 3. That would go to there. It doesn't look right at all. Not at all. So that technically should go in there somewhere. And should be on this one. But for whatever reason it's not aligning. And I do not know why. My little brain hurts. So the line of that goes on there. Okay. Which is there. But that doesn't line up. It's what's stupid. Stupid. I've done something stupid. I don't know what. This doesn't make any sense to me at the moment. Headache time. Not literally, but metaphorically. So that's on there. I'm just trying to have a look where it's lining up on the box, on the white square box, basically. It's literally like somewhere around here, and that doesn't align with the 30. Ah! What's going on? What is going on? I keep catching that T button with mine. See what's going on there. $12. Then you pop that on. Basically, you've got. I mean, technically it doesn't meet, but that's okay because it's not meant to. $12. That's the base of it. So why does it not work? Yeah. Is it not a true 30 degrees? Is that the real problem? I don't know. I don't know what the answer is here. I really don't. Now that looks aligned better. Okay. I just need to make sure that that height is correct, which it now isn't. It needs to go up. So how's that looking? Let me just go check that. We finally got it. Yep, that's correct height there. Looks about right. Okay, let's bang that in. I think finally it's found the right little snapping location. Um, there we go. Okay, so we've got that sort of pretty much hellhole to go through with each of it. Well, I am going to, I think, leave it there for today. I need to take a break, basically, and I think we've been streaming for quite a bit of time, actually. But you can see the sort of concept of it at this point. Obviously, it will develop enormously fairly soon over the days ahead, and we will go from there with it. But yeah, it's been a bit of an episode trying to work that one out. There we go. Well, thank you for all those that have popped in. I believe there's been about 19 or 20 of you. And Valius TV for having a wee chat as well. And hopefully we'll see you again, mate, soon. And yeah, keep playing, keep experimenting. And sometimes, yeah, it is a bit headachy trying to solve these things out and knuckle out the problems, but that's all part of it. And the end result is obviously the joy that happens. So keep being creative, people. Do not lose that. And have a great rest of your week. I may or may not be on tomorrow. I'm just trying to think ahead now. I may be at the studio tomorrow, and then I'm definitely on the studio at Thursday because I've got an appointment. And then I'll be back probably Friday streaming again is the, I think, plan at this point. But we'll see what happens. So drop a like and a subscribe if you want, and that will get you notified as well, of course, when I do my next stream. But in the meantime, thanks for watching, and thank you all. Have a great week.